Happy Saturday, everybody. Really good to have everybody here. Very informal. This isn't anything to do with, um, Bobby told me to do this or Tim told me to do this or anything like that. This is just something that I decided to do starting yesterday. And I'm going to be doing them every single day, at least through next Thursday, February 12th, when Iskander is officially able to be joined by existing miners who are outside of the first founder group that already enrolled in the project. Doing this, I really started to do it for my team. And the reason I'm doing it is because I believe in it. I'm excited about the project. I'm excited about how all this fits together with Texacoin, that it's not competing, that it's enhancing. And I wanted to explain that to my team, many of who have a lot of questions because they're not in the ranger groups, they're not in a lot of the high level discussions, et cetera, that I've had the privilege to be involved in. Many of you may know that myself and my team developed the IskanderCoin.com website, which is live today. And if you go to that website anytime, it will not allow you to join, but it will give you all the packages that are going to be available starting February 12th. There is an extensive FAQ section at the bottom that has been modified, updated, and so forth to have the very latest information about the comp plan, about the stretch program, which we're going to talk about today, about really every single aspect of Iskander as a standalone, as a phase 3, continuation of the vision, as the other questions that you're going to be asked is, why now? Are the optics right? All those kinds of questions that I'm sure many of you already have, and clearly your downlines are going to have. And what I wanted to be able to do was to, really tell my team what I believe about the project, how I'm going to be moving forward, which is not anything to do with any requirement of anybody else doing that as well. But I want to give everybody the opportunity to understand the dates, the drop dead dates, why they've been put in place, how they can impact you, et cetera. And if people want to participate in Iskander, that they know why and they can and they know how. But if they don't want to, Texacoin's the mothership. It's still the greatest thing. It's everything. It's the root of the tree. So anyway, this is my personal mission. And so I said, if I'm going to do that, let me just throw it, out to the ranger group. Let me throw it out to the general people who also might want to hear about some of this stuff. And look, I don't have all the answers. If I don't have them, I can get them. I think I have a lot of them. And the FAQs were all written by me. And then I want to introduce Corey Moran to this call too today. I think Corey, I saw you somewhere. Are you still with us, brother?
I'm here, brother. How are you?
Awesome, man. It's good to see you. So I had this vision the other day, at the beginning, it's kind of like Genesis. At the beginning, like everything else happens with Texacoin, not this past Tuesday, but the one before that, I got a call from Tim Blake and said, and this before anything with Iskander even existed on the web. And it was like, hey, Jim, I know it's Tuesday morning. Bobby would love to be able to introduce the project to people tonight. Is there a way we could get a whole website up for people to register and everything else? And so I said, thanks for the short notice. Okay. But that's kind of like everything here. It's kind of makes you perform, which I love. But having said that, nobody can do anything on their own. So, I was able to, put together, verbiage and content and all of that kind of stuff. And then, have an initial idea of how we wanted to, based on Bobby's vision of, Iskander being about Alexander the Great. And the date of 312, the number 312, and how significant that was based on the fact that if you historically look at Alexander the Great's journey, where he passed away before in 325 BC, but it took about 13 years after that to 312 BC for his vision to come to life and to actually transform the world and the way the world worked. And that was a very, very big date. So, incorporating things like that into the brand, into the website. And so I got with Corey, who, has been working tirelessly on his own, doing things for the community, and his talent is immense. And I reached out to him and just said, "Hey, brother, here's the vision. I need help." And Corey's just so selfless, and he just dropped what he was doing. He jumped in, and that website that you guys see was created by Corey as a vision from what the original thought was, and it was meant to be epic, like Alexander the Great. It was meant to have like the Spartans, and that was kind of the vision of it. And boy, he brought it to life. We got the registration up. We had 459 registrations on the site before anybody could even join. And then, of course, the following Tuesday, Tim called me again. And now it was like, "Hey, brother, Bobby wants to be able to have people to actually join on the founders group and really start getting into the project. Can you now take this to a live site?" Which once again, I got with Corey on, and Abraham, who many of you know from the CRM, who's also one of our just amazing team members on the dev side. And together, they were able, and we were able to bring a whole site to life. And so, the founders were able to get in. The original founders on the generational block had until February 2nd to join. Many did. I don't know the exact number right now. And then it was closed to open enrollment. And those founders could only join with founders packages that started 27,000 and go up to 243,000. And so that closed. And now the following week, which was from February 3rd to February 12th, those founders are having coins mined for them. And on February 12th, it's an important date. And I'm going to go through the dates with you guys today, where now that's going to open up to everybody on this call, everybody in the community, whether you're a ranger, whether you're a miner, everybody in the Texacoin community, and only those right now in the Texitcoin community are going to be able to join Iskander, which is going to be on February 12th, next Thursday. If you go to iskandercoin.com, I'll show you the website today. You'll see a countdown clock on there as well. It'll also explain all the different packages, and FAQs will draw in on that. But I'm going to explain a lot of that to you guys today. So the next kind of thing that came to me was about, I don't know, 3 or 4 days ago. The Epic website exists, and I just said to myself, I said, we need a video. We need something created that brings together everything we're doing so people can understand very easily in just 2.5 minutes why this project exists, why it's not competition with Texacoin, how it grows the ecosystem. And I had this vision because I'm older, I'm 64. The young people probably don't even know the movie The 10 Commandments with Charleston Heston, which was kind of like Ben-Hur, and it was, epic type of movie with epic music and epic voiceover, and just this whole thing. And I had this vision in my mind that growing Dubai out of the background, where East meets West in an iconic city, and why it's all starting there, and just not your typical AI type of a video. And I just had this vision, so I wrote a script, and I brought it to the master. I brought it to Corey, and I said, "Buddy, here's my vision." I gave him the Steven Spielberg, this is like what I'm thinking, and this guy's just crazy. And he just created something that was epic, and we put the final touches on it. So I'm going to start off with that, guys, and I'm going to play my sound for you and let you kind of hear this. It's going to go up on the Iskander website very shortly, but it's not there right now, so you guys are kind of the first to see it. So I'm happy to share it with you. So let me do that, and I'll put my sound on with it, and you can see kind of what we brought to life. Let me share my sound. Okay. All right, here we go, guys.
In most of crypto, mining happens in one place, under one system, exposed to one set of risks. One regulation, one grid failure, one disruption, and the entire network is vulnerable. But what if it didn't have to be that way? From the very beginning, Texit Coin's founder, Bobby Gray, envisioned something different. Not a single mining operation, not a centralized network, but a global system built for strength, resilience, and longevity. Iskander coin is the first major step in that vision. Iskander is launching from Dubai, one of the most iconic cities in the world. A global financial hub, a crypto-friendly environment, a gateway between East and West. The perfect foundation for a world-class mining network. Global cross-mining creates something the crypto world has never seen before. Redundancy, decentralization by design, geographic distribution, regulatory resilience, protection from grid failures. Instead of relying on one location, multiple massive mining centers support each other's networks. When one region faces challenges, the network keeps running. As this system expands, it is designed to reach 5 major global mining hubs, producing a combined 500 to 600 million megahash. That places this network among the strongest mining operations in the world. No other project has ever built infrastructure like this. This is revolutionary, and this wasn't a pivot. It wasn't an afterthought. Global cross-mining has been part of the strategy from day one. Now, the foundation is in place. A promise fulfilled, a vision realized, a long-term strategy brought to life. The first blocks have already been mined. The network is live. The ecosystem is growing. This is more than a new coin. It's a global mining infrastructure built for the future of crypto. Welcome to Iskander. Welcome to Phase 3. This is just the beginning.
All right. Well, you guys got to see that. I want to show you something here real quick that I love. So bear with me. I'm going to back this up a bit. I'm going to actually go right here. And I want to show you this right here. And I'm going to, oh, I didn't pause it. Hang on, let me pause this. I want to pause this right here, guys. Hang on a second.
Crypto. Welcome to Iskander. Welcome to Phase 3. This is just the beginning.
So I want you guys to see the level of detail here, which is so cool. And this is Corey's just vision. This helmet represents Iskander. But if you look at the crown of this helmet, it's got the Texacoin logo built right into it, showing the partnership in that iconic graphic. I don't know what you call it, but in the picture. Anyway, I just thought that was like one of the things that Corey did that was also so brilliant. So anyway, that's kind of, I'll stop my share, but hope you guys like that. That thing is, I just love it. So we're going to be doing a lot more stuff like that. But in the meantime, I just want to kind of roll out with you guys and talk about this. I'm going to share my screen again, and I'm going to go to the actual Iskander website and show you this. So everybody can go here, and this talks about everything that's happening with the first block that was mined on February 3rd. And by the way, you can go to the Block Explorer right now, guys. Let me see if I have that just on my thing as well. Let's see here real quick. I'm not sure I do. No, I probably don't. But there's a Block Explorer that shows you how many coins have been mined and stuff so forth. But at the end of the day, this is the website. And again, we'll have a button here that basically, will be for that video. That'll pop the video up here. Probably go up, probably maybe, I don't know when it'll go up, maybe the next day or two. So if you have questions, you could just click here, fill out the form. That'll go to Gage Blake. That'll go to Tim Blake, and you can ask any questions you want. Somebody will reach out to you from the team, talk about, answering any questions you have. This goes down, talks about, why the coin exists, that it's a phase 3. It gives you a bunch of information on all this lineage being protected. This is kind of just static stuff. But then when you get down into here, like if you click the join now button right there, now you could come down in here and you could see exactly what packages are available. So they have founder packages that are available starting at 27,000 and going all the way up to 240,000. We'll talk about that. And then you have what we call early adopter packages available, which early adopters packages are going to start at, again, just like Texacoin, they're going to start at $995, and they're going to go up to, instead of 9 seats, on the early adopters, you actually have the option to go up to 18 seats. There's a reason for that, which I'm going to cover. And there's the countdown right there until February 12th. So I'm going to go down to the FAQs because I want to cover dates with you right now. So bear with me a second. Let me get to that. The key dates for the rollout right here. So February 2nd was the last day to purchase a founder package and be included in the mining of the first block. February 3rd, the first block was launched live in Dubai. February 12th, next Thursday, are new enrollments, and they begin for anybody outside of the original founders. Anybody in your downline, both founder positions for 27,000 up to 243 are available, as well as packages below the founder level, which start at 1 seat, just like they do in Texacoin, but they go up to 18 seats instead of 9 seats like Texacoin. March 2nd, this is a very key date, which is really why I'm driving this for my teams. And I believe that you guys should drive it for your teams. Texacoin is dedicated to lineage protection, genealogy protection. Many of us have spent a lot of time building a downline. And so the reality is you and anybody that's got a downline has until March 2nd to join Iskander as a miner. Could just be 1 seat, doesn't matter, but to join Iskander. And if you do that, then your lineage is protected from Texacoin. So that way, anybody in Texacoin that decides to come over to Iskander in the future, they will then be placed in your downline. And so your lineage will be protected. After March 2nd, it will not be the case. So if you've got a bunch of people sponsored below and you do not join Iskander, that is okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But when you do join Iskander, those people will not be placed underneath you. That will not, your guarantee for that will have expired. So that's kind of why I'm really talking to my downline and talking to everybody about this, because these are important dates. And then on April 29th is the last day founder packages can be purchased, or whatever comes first, 3,703 founders. Now that's founders, people, not seats. So that means 3,703 people. If that's hit before April 29th, there will no longer be founder positions available. What are some of the benefits of founder positions? There'll be a lot more announced, but one of them, for example, is that on a 1-2 free bonus, where everybody else gets 1 seat, if they do it within the 30 days from the last time they did it, they get 2 seats. Founders get 5 seats regardless of when they do it. So if you're looking to get more seats in the mine, which has always been my goal with Texacoin, it's always been, how do I get more seats? How do I get north of 100 seats in the mine? Getting in early on Iskander also, many of us on this call, there are some very lucky ones who, were among the first people that got into Texacoin back when it was, 2.8 cents, or when it was like my friend Tim Blake, who got in January of 2025. A year later, it was still only 20 cents. I got in May of 2025. It was only 60 cents. But really, again, I got into Texacoin for the utility of the project. I've never gotten into a project ever, whether it was Bitcoin. I've done very well in crypto, Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Tron, but I've always looked at the project. I've always come at it like an investor, like a stock investor. But anyway, getting in early matters. There's basically less people to divide the coins among, so more coins are being distributed to every single seat. The price is lower, etc. You can get more seats and you can get them quickly as people migrate over. Personally, for me, I'll be calling every person in my downline and introducing the project to them, doing it on webinars as well. So that's kind of why I'm doing this stuff. These dates are very, very important. So those are the key dates. Let's talk about stretch, because this is a very, very, very interesting nuance. So you have to understand that Texacoin was never meant to be a multi-level project, guys. It was never meant to be a network marketing compensation plan. Bobby has said this from the jump. He didn't know network marketing. He admits that. So, but he had the vision of creating a crowdsourced, a crowd-funded mine. It's one of the only ones in history. I mean, we're in the top 3 crypto projects of all time that didn't get venture capital, that didn't get private investment capital, that basically grew it from bootstrapping a community together. And now we've raised over $140 million with Texacoin. Suffice to say that when Texacoin started and everybody was, getting in, it was friends, it was family, it was slow. There was no mine. It was an L9 in Bobby's garage. Was there the promise of a mine? Yeah. Bobby said he was going to do 3 things with the money back then, right? It was going to be build the mine, it was going to be pay the commissions, and it was going to be promote the coin. That's what he promised. And he's done everything that he said he was going to do. But back then, the believers, they were just believers. There was nothing physical. You couldn't go to Mansfield or Conroe and see a state-of-the-art container with 200 ASICs, L9 ant miners, state-of-the-art submerged in mineral oil that were actually physically there, and watch that mining power happen. Watch the hash power grow. Right now, there's more purchased hash power with this project than there is sold hash power. So fulfillment of that vision is already there. The phase 2, the utility of Texacoin. Guys, this is what's driving the utility of Iskander. It's what's going to drive the utility of the other 3 to 4 mines that are going to be built as a global cross-mining network that basically creates redundancy. It creates decentralization. It creates regulatory mitigation. If something happens in one area of the world, the other mines are continuing to go. We're cross-mining Texacoin, TXC, and Iskander coin directly in the mine in Texacoin, as well as being in the mine in Iskander. This is creating global resiliency. It's nothing that's ever been done in the history of crypto, a global mine that is all linked together. And so the Iskander project launches with that in place already, the utility of the Texacoin, which essentially is going to be what drives the price of the coin and drives it up and up and up and sells out the mine. That is already in place. Deals are being signed with cities like McKinney. There are other cities that are signing with fairs, festivals, and events, a $1.2 trillion market. And so people ask me, well, Jim, let me go back a bit. So the Texacoin project, again, was never meant to be anything but a referral network, an affiliate commissions program where people could share this with their friends, their families and stuff. It wasn't really built to be something like the major network marketers of the world would embrace and go, you know what, this is the greatest marketing plan I've ever seen in my life for network marketing, because it wasn't designed to be that way. So, because of that, guys, there's had to be changes made to the comp plan, which Bobby and the team have made along the way. Some people are not happy about it. Some people are happy with it. At the end of the day, though, those changes had to be made because, look, Texacoin is all about the utility in the layer 2. Okay, it's all about that clone of the Litecoin blockchain, right? Built for transactional speed, built for low transaction costs. And we're dealing, guys, in the layer 2 and in the phase 2 with municipalities and cities. And I'm sorry, but network marketing does carry with it some little bit of a stink, if you might want to say it that way, or at least in people's minds what they may think about it. And there needs to be a separation there. And so there is no link really between the downtown digital dollars and the Texit Coin project as a crowd-funded way to sell out the mine. They're kind of separate and distinct, yet at the same time, it grows the value of the TXE coin, of the ISK coin as this happens. So start to understand the layer 2 is already being rolled out. So number one, phase 1, the mine's being built with Texacoin. Number 1 again, Iskander. We're launching, guys, very soon, a major mine right in Dubai, a physical mine that will have unbelievable hashing power right out of the gate, that is going to basically start mining ISK and TXC right in Dubai, right out of the gate, already purchased, getting ready to be installed. That is brand new. So mining on both projects already in place. Phase 2 already in place as well and launched. And now phase 3. Phase 3 is the global expansion of a cross mining global network. And so, you know, you might look at that and go, what are the optics on the timing of this? You know, sales have slowed in Texacoin, and we know that, you know, but nothing else has slowed. The utility's always been the same. In fact, the utility's just grown and gotten bigger and bigger and bigger. So the phase 3, it was the right time in Bobby's mind and the management team to launch a cross-mining network and start that in one of the most iconic cities in the world where East meets West, and that's Dubai. And so now we've got promises made, promises kept. Phase 3, Bobby said, remember, there's 4 phases to creating a top 5 crypto. Phase 1, build the mine. Phase 2, utility. Phase 3, global cross mining. Okay, and phase 4 is education. We're already doing the education. We have calls like this. We have 60,000 miners. We have wonderful rangers who are doing wonderful meetings all the time, and they're explaining and they're educating. So all 4 phases of Bobby's vision of creating a top 5 crypto are already launched. So when you get into when you go to Iskander, the mystery's gone. There is no mystery. There is no, is this going to happen? Maybe it's going to happen. You know, is Bobby going to run away with the money? All of that's been asked and answered, and it's demonstrated. It's not just words, it's people's actions. And so I'm super excited about it. With regard to the utility of the coin, let's talk about Texacoin for a minute, because people, how's the mine going to sell out? You know, if more people gravitate to Iskander because it has a better marketing plan, how's Texacoin going to sell out? Well, first of all, guys, Texacoin is still absolutely viable. I tell people all the time, Texacoin's on sale. You know, if you believe in the utility of the project, it's what's going to drive the price of the coin. I mean, the price, guys, has been up to $7 already. It's been up to $5, $4, $6, and everywhere in between. And that is absolutely normal. We talk about how good crypto grows in cycles. I did a slide in my PowerPoint presentation, guys, where I show people Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, and Texacoin. The cycles right there, right on top of each other, where you can see how they've grown, how they spike and they go down, and there's a trough, and they spike and they go down, and there's a trough, et cetera, et cetera. I did that slide 2 weeks ago, and guess what? At that time, Bitcoin was worth $90,000 just 2 weeks ago. XRP was at $1.90. Yesterday, it was at 63,000 Bitcoin and $1.15 for XRP. So we're talking about what is arguably the most iconic crypto coin in the world. Bitcoin has plummeted 50% in just 3 months. Okay, XRP has gone from $3.60 down to $1.15, and it's lost 66% of its value. But guess what? That's just normal stuff. Texacoin, hey, it was at 74 when I did that same chart, and when I looked at it, I think it was yesterday, it was at 73 or 74. It's pretty much stayed the same, but that is all normal. So now let's talk about crypto, and let's talk about TXC, and let's talk about how's this coin price going to go up? How are the seats in the mine going to be sold out? Well, that's going to happen, guys, both from people who still want to market and get free seats in the mine, share the project with their friends and their family, which is still absolutely viable, okay? Buy seats in the mine because it's absolutely viable, and I'm going to tell you why it's even more viable coming up. But start to do the math on this yourself. Okay, you got Texacoin. We sign a fair, a festival, or an event with 100,000 people that go through that fair, festival, or event. Those people now,
Love you
instead of buying,
too. Okay.
okay, love you too, whoever said that. But anyway, if you guys could mute, I'd appreciate it. But having said that, you think about that fair, festival, or event, and now instead of those people buying however they bought it, they had to wait in line, they had to buy paper coupons, paper tickets, whatever they had to do. Now they just take their app out, guys. They buy the McKinney dollar. Okay, now they buy $100 worth of McKinney dollars to go to that fair or festival. Now look at 100,000 people who do that. What is that, guys? That's $10 million of a downtown digital dollar that is built on the backbone layer one blockchain, the Litecoin clone blockchain that we have that powers those very, very low transaction fees and very, very high speed transactions. It's built right on top of it. And now you got $10 million that were bought for one event. How does that help Texacoin? Really simple. 1% of that purchase, or $100,000, gets purchased in actual Texit coin on the open market. Guys, let me ask you this. What would happen right now today if $100,000 worth of TXC were bought on the open market? I can tell you what would happen. It would probably drive the price up to $2, $2.50, or somewhere in that order of price because of the buying pressure, the demand for the coin. Well, the demand for the coin with this absolutely unique use case that Bobby Gray has basically put out there and created, which is downtown digital dollars initially. Okay, think about the Texas State Fair. Last year, 2 million people went through that fair, 400,000 less than the year before, but 2 million people. Now imagine 2 million people buying $100 worth of that downtown digital dollar to basically power the Texas State Fair. And now you take 1% of that. And now you start looking at how many of these fairs, festivals, and events around the country, okay, every state. And outside of the United States, we're talking a global $1.2 trillion market, guys. That includes, by the way, Dubai. It includes the Eastern Europe. It includes all of those over there. Oktoberfest in Germany. The Iskander coin can have the same utility and will have the same utility to drive that value over there. But let's talk about TXC for a moment. And now you start to look at TXC, and all of a sudden the price goes, you wake up one morning and it goes, boop, it's up to $1.25. Boop, it's up to $1.75. Boop, it's up to $2.25. Comes down to $2, goes to $3, and it starts to go just like we predict it will go, because it can't help but do that because of the buying pressure from all of the TXC that's being purchased to power the gas on the dollars that are being purchased on the network that we've created. Well, guess what, guys? Those TXCs are owned by the project. What is that? It's revenue, okay? It's revenue. That creates value to the project, and it also starts to drive the price up. So what happens as the price goes up? Well, guess what? If you sat and watched the price of Bitcoin go up from 2008, 2009, 2012, 2013, 2014, as people got involved in the project and it became more mature, and you could have had an opportunity to purchase a seat on the Bitcoin mine, or a seat in the Ethereum mine, or in the XRP mine while the price was going up like that, you would have done it. And so would everybody else. But guess what? You couldn't do it. Big companies had already gotten involved. China had already gotten involved. BlackRock had already gotten involved. No, you can't do it. Okay, so the reality is now you look at TXC and people start going, wait a minute. The utilities going crazy. They got 2 fairs festivals, 8 fairs festivals, 100 fairs festivals, 1,000 fairs and festivals, and the price of the coin is continuing to go up. Do you think people want mining seats? Yes. So here's the thing. Texit Coin succeeded beyond, I don't know if he would admit this or not, but I think it succeeded even beyond Bobby's wildest imagination. I mean, it has been a tremendous success, and it continues to be just that. And with the utility, it's going to continue to go beyond that. And that's what's going to drive the price. And that's what's going to take us to a top 5 crypto. And that's what's going to sell out the mine organically. So I am not worried about Texacoin's mining seats going. As the price goes up, more of us, more of the people we know will want to jump in and get those seats for generational wealth for our family. That's why we got in this to start with, guys. There has nothing changed, okay? The only thing that's changed is it's gotten better. Promises kept, promises fulfilled. Now we have the launch of Iskander. And so look, I say to the people on my downline, okay, and this is what I say to everybody I'm talking to. You don't have to join Iskander. Texit Coin, I can sell that all day long, guys. I believe in it 100%. I did a presentation for the entire community last Thursday. That presentation was also done, a similar one by Tim Blake last night at the Guitar Sanctuary in Texas. Tim's flying in to Angelo Rossati's event in Tampa, which we're going to have next Monday. And I want to put a plug in on that. Anybody who knows anybody who's in the Tampa market, in the Florida market, where they can drive 2 hours, 3 hours, and go to the Motor Enclave in Tampa next Monday, registration at 6:30 p.m., presentation by executive leadership, head of the Rangers, Tim Blake, one of my best buddies, in person, Gage Blake flying in. Anybody who brings people and registers for that event, if you bring 3 people, guys, and you get 3 people to register, then you get 1 free seat in the mine. So that's pretty cool. So that's next Monday on the 9th of February at the Motor Enclave in Tampa. And
Hey,
that's
Jim, can I interrupt real quick? I think people are concerned that you're not on the slides. That are you going through slides or not going through slides?
I am not going through slides.
Okay,
I am talking with my peeps.
Okay, wonderful. Because somebody said they thought that you were supposed to be flipping slides and you're not. So that's great. Wanted to make sure. Thank you.
Thanks, Thomas. No, guys, this is just me and you, fireside chat, knee to knee. I mean, I do PowerPoint presentations all the time. I don't, I can show slides and all that, but I'm just talking from the heart and talking to you about, everything that I believe. And so like I'm telling my downline, you don't have to do anything with Iskander, but here's the thing. If you do, if you want to, what's the opportunity? Well, it's really cool. And it's because you can get into Iskander with 1 seat, and you could leverage that through the stretch program up to 3 seats with no additional money out of pocket. You couldn't do that with Texacoin. So I can literally join, and I'm going to click on $9.95, which you guys can still see my screen. And this is an upgrade to the stretch program. So you don't have to do that. You can say, no, I just want 1 seat. I really love what's going on, and I just want to be a miner. I don't want to do anything else. Throw my coin in the drawer or in the safe, protect it just like you did with Texacoin, and now you're in as a miner. You've protected your genealogy and your downline. If anybody joins from down below you, they're going to be in your downline, and that's all you ever need to do. But you can say, hey, wait a minute. For the same $9.95, they're allowing me to get 3 seats, which start to generate coins for me at 3 seats instead of 1 seat. That is revolutionary. Now, you get those coins mined for you every day as if you own 3 seats, because you do, and you have 1 full year to pay the balance to get to the 3 seats. And you can pay that with earned commissions. And you can allocate 25%, 50%, or 100% of your earned commissions in Iskander, and you can pay off your stretch balance. And once you do that, you get the escrowed coins. So you always get the coins you paid for every day in your wallet. The 2/3 of the coins that are being mined for you are kept in escrow. And as you pay off your stretch balance, those coins are then deposited into your wallet. And so that's like revolutionary. And so I'm telling people, so you could take that to any level you want to. You can say, hey, I want to buy 3 seats. Well, now, if you buy 3 seats, you can actually have 9 seats mining for you every single day for the next year. And again, you can pay that off with your commissions over the next year, and then those coins will be deposited directly into your wallet. So this is a way to leverage and get many more mining seats. And I don't know about you guys, but when I got into the project in Texacoin, same with Iscander, I said to Tim Blake, he said, Jim, you can only buy in 9 seats. And I said, well, okay, how can I get more seats if I can't buy more and I want more coins mined for me? And that's when he told me, you can help us grow the community. Well, it's the same thing here, except it's triple. Now I can get 3 seats. I can actually stretch to actually get 9 seats mining coins for me every single day. And now I've leveraged. And so I can take that, guys, in every single position. If I want to buy 5 seats, I used to get, hey, buy 5, get 1. Remember that? Now, how about buy 5 and get 15? What? 5 and get 15, not 5 and get 1. And so every single seat, guys, including founder seats, allow you to stretch. So you can now, with the $9,000 package, which is the 9 seats, and the $18,000 package, those allow you to stretch into a founder level. So I could click on the 9 seats and actually stretch that into 27 seats, making me a founder. And you can do that all the way up to April 29th or until 3,703 founders have been enrolled in the program. So literally you can take a 9-pack and not get 3 anymore, or used to then you get 2, or now you get 1. No. You can get 27 and not spend a penny more and invest your commission. So if you're a builder, if you're somebody who says, man, I want seats, I want to build, the power of this, guys, is extraordinary. You could take 18 seats, and why there's an 18-seat program is because that allows you to stretch into a 54-seat founder package. Because as I showed you a minute ago in the founder packages, there's a 27, okay? And the 27, by the way, if you had $27,000, you could stretch it into 81 seats. If you have 54,000, you could stretch it into 162 seats. Okay, if you have 81, you could stretch it into 243 seats. So even in the founder level, there are abilities to stretch into higher packages. The only ones that don't carry stretch is 162,000 and 243,000. And then Bobby has said, if anybody comes in for 243, they get 2 first-class tickets, all expense paid, to Token 49 in Dubai. So that's the packages that are going to be available to you starting on the 12th. I'm talking to my entire downline, and for me, guys, and the way I'm still saying to people, Texacoin's the mothership. You can buy mining seats in Texacoin. They're going to be valuable as the coin price goes up because the layer 2 is growing. Is it on sale right now? I certainly believe it is. It's just like when I bought Chipotle as a stock investor. I was involved in Chipotle. I was advised to do that by my stock service called Motley Fool. I believed in the leadership. I believed in their product. I believed in everything that they were doing and how they were going to grow their business model. And so I invested. And then you may remember 7-8 years ago, it tanked. The stock just tanked because they had, I don't know, some kind of thing going on with their food where people were getting sick all over the country. And, people were running, selling the stock, panicking. But Warren Buffett says, when people are panicking, that's when I want to buy. Okay, that's when I see a buying opportunity. Because I looked at it and I go, nothing's changed. They're going to solve this problem. When they do, the stock is going to rebound. And so I bought at that time. And guess what it did? It rebounded. So what I'm advising people in my downline to do is buy some Texacoin. If you're a marketing person, if you're a builder, you might want to heavily consider getting into the Iskander project. First of all, even if you're not a builder, to preserve your downline genealogy. That way, anybody who gets in your downline is going to be in your downline. Or if you want to be a builder, when you take a look at the marketing plan for this and the compensation plan, which will soon be available on this website, I've already seen it, guys. It is designed to be, unlike Texacoin, they got together with the top leaders in the network marketing business that are in our project, the Brig Harts of the world, the Thomas Dubois of the world, the Carl Wilts of the world, the Coach Buds of the world, the Mike Healy's of the world. These people and the Mitchell Tuckers of the world, the people who were not like Tim Blake and Bobby, me, who were not professional network marketers, didn't understand what could happen. And they've built a compensation plan here, guys, where it's off the chain. You do not need 3 positions anymore to earn $9,000 a week, to earn $6,000 a week, to earn $4,000 a week. You don't need it anymore. You can build from one position and earn that amount of money. Much simpler. You do have to bring in 1 new person every 30 days. That's not a tall order if you're a builder, if that's what you want to do. I've personally brought in over 40 people in this project, bringing One person a month is not a tall order for anybody to achieve. And the bottom line is, if you're earning $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 a week, and that's $8,000, $9,000, $10,000, $12,000 a month, you can afford to even bless somebody with one seat and change their life in a positive way. So they've structured this thing. The only way you can get 3 tracking positions is with a $243,000 package, but it's not necessary. The other thing they've done with this is they listen to the wisdom. You guys probably were at many of the trainings that our friend Brig Hart has been doing. I was just at Ranger Roundup a couple weeks ago where Brig did huge training sessions on how do you build a binary? How do you do it the right way without greed? Because look, we all know, and we've all done it, where we just didn't know any better. So we kind of stuck somebody on the left or the inside of one of our middle spots so we could pop a $3,000 commission for ourselves, but ended up really doing harm because we stranded somebody. Brig basically advocates, look, one position, you have a pay leg and you have an overflow leg. Okay, your overflow is the outside, the pay leg is the other one, okay? And basically he said, your first person comes in on your overflow leg. Your next 2 come in on your pay leg, and you never vary it. You never put anything on the inside to strand somebody. Basically, it grows like a string of pearls. But we all know with network marketing, it ultimately turns into kind of a grapevine because people start building their own inside legs, but they're getting help on the outside all the time. And you're getting help on the outside. So the bottom line is that's revolutionary. And that's going to be what we call forced placement. So you will not have an option on that. It will be done for you. Now, you can get strategic, like Brig said. You know, he said, if I'm bringing in a family member or a friend, I probably want to bring them in on the overflow leg because it gets a lot of help from the upline. And that's fine. But the bottom line is you have to time that. So if the first person's a family member, you want to bring them in on the overflow leg, then you do that. If you had another family member, put them in after you get 2 people on the pay leg. And you could go back and forth and do it that way. But this way, guys, everybody is getting help from their upline. And it's like Brig said, if you don't want to build your inside, it's biblical. If you don't work, you don't eat. So that's how this thing has been laid out. And all of the kind of fundamental problems and issues that kind of came up that Bobby had to kind of put a Band-Aid on as time went on the Texacoin side, because, you know, we just weren't really a network marketing company, it's more of an affiliate referral program. Those problems have been addressed. Iskander is a true multi-level network marketing project that is built for the purpose, okay? But at the same time, it's built with the utility of Texacoin. It's built with the layer 2. It's built with phase 3 global cross mining. It's like on steroids. It's like MLM network marketing, but on steroids with the same founding principles that Bobby had with Texacoin. In fact, he wanted to make it super simple for somebody to buy a seat and earn their $1,000 back, because with 3 points and 3 points, you still earn $1,000. Okay, and you've made your money back, and now you're playing with house money, and you can grow it from there. So that's kind of. I want to open this up to, you know, Thomas. Maybe you want to say I may have missed some things. Do you want to make any comments or talk kind of about what your vision is with this?
Sure. You know, I'm very, very excited about everything that you've spoken about. Without a doubt. I'm trying, and I've answered a few of the questions in the chat, so there's a few still there. But without a doubt, for me, is I'm grasping the easy peasy parts of this. Is that we have a United States mine. We've done what nobody else has done here. We now have expanded it internationally, and we're going to get blessed with the opportunity to do it at least 3 more times. And really, sometimes we got to just keep it that simple. That, hey, we get to duplicate what we've already done. I had the best 10 months of my financial career have been in the last 10 months. We get the opportunity to duplicate some of that, if not all of it, if not more of it, in Dubai. And then the opportunity to choose to take place in the rest as we grow the full vision. And I really am trying to, you know, for the first time, because I'm all about the money. I'm a network marketer, right? I wrote a book on network marketing. It's what I've done for all of my life. But and I fed my family for 32 years this way. But what I do appreciate here is that I get the opportunity to share a vision that aligns with not only my spiritual, my patriotical, and many of the things that I have been studying about the history of money and the way that I'd like money to be, and really starting to grasp and start to want to instead of sharing here's how much money we can make, sharing the vision of how we can get back to honest money and be a part of honest money. And so I'm getting more and more excited every day, and every time that I hear you talk, I get more excited. So thank you for letting me participate.
No, thanks, Thomas, and thank you for that new word. If you'll submit that to Webster, the patriotical, that was really great. I love that. I always kid Tim Blake about things because he says things like that, and he also says I can't do technology, and I say, thank God you can sell, buddy. But hey, Jessica had a question, and I want to just clarify that. So to make sure I'm understanding, she says, if they paid the second third of the total, so let's say they came in with 1 seat and they stretched to 3, so they owe the balance, which is 1985. Those seats are opened up to them at that time. Let's say that it was in month 3, and if they never pay the other third, they just have 2/3 of the original number. The answer is yes, and that's what's so cool about stretch, guys. There's absolutely no downside. You stretch to 3, you have a year to pay it. If you only end up paying for 2/3 instead of 3/3, okay, only the extra 1/3 of coins will be deposited into your account, and you will end up having 2 seats going forward. You don't lose anything. And so that's cool. Here's the other thing that is open to everybody that I didn't talk about. And that is, no matter what the price of Texacoin is today, you can join starting next Thursday. They will give you a $1 valuation on TXC if you want to pay with TXC to get into Iskander. How cool is that? So if, like, for example, let's say you knew, and this is what I told somebody yesterday, if you know you're coming into Iskander, let's just say for 3 seats, and that's going to cost $2,985. I'm going out to Texacoin right now, if it's at 73, and I'm going to buy that amount on Texacoin at 73, because in 1 week, I'm going to get a 25% bonus on my buying power, if that makes sense. So the answer is you can stretch, and there is no obligation to finish the stretch. But when you do, even if you finish a third at a time, those coins are then deposited for you, and then those seats are yours. So at the end of the stretch, again, if you don't pay it off, let's say you got 1, you stretch to 3, and you never pay anything. You said, you know what, I'm not going to earn commissions, none of that stuff. You will have your 1 seat. You will have your coins that were mined for you every day for that 1 seat, and you will still be a winner. So it's just really, it's a revolutionary concept. Sarah, I see your hand up. I recognize that yellow hand anywhere.
Hey, Jim, I don't have a question. I just want to acknowledge you for the FAQ, because I spent last night, I went through it like with a fine-tooth comb, because it answered so many questions for me. You did an amazing, detailed job. And I just want to encourage people that if they have questions and their team has a question, send them to that, because you did a really, really good job. And thank you for doing that, because there's questions in there that normally probably wouldn't have appeared on a FAQ. But I just want to acknowledge you for that. So thank you so much for doing that.
Thank you, Sarah. And guys, here's the deal. You can see, I'll take you real quick. I'm not going to show you all of them, but I want to at least give you the topics. So we have general questions, right? Do they have everything figured out? What are the key dates? How many founder positions are there? All of this stuff. Do you have to be a Texacoin miner to join Iscander? So those are going to be general questions. What are the payment options? Will Iscander utilize a different comp plan? Can I make more than $3,000 a week? Then we go into stretch program and founder payment terms. And so now we go in, hey, what is the stretch program? How are commissions handled during the stretch? Because here's another thing, guys, that we haven't even talked about. I mean, my God, there's so many exciting things about this. So not only can you stretch, you can do a coin lock and you can do a hash lock. What does that mean? Well, that's really simple. So if you say, like, you're a person like me, I only want hash, okay? So I go, hey, I want to lock my hash. So as we all know right now, it used to be with Texacoin, and it's not any longer, where if you get your commissions in hash, you got BOGO, right? You got buy one, get one, double. That's gone away with Texacoin. With Iskander, guys, it's the same thing initially, where if you take hash, okay, you get one for one. Okay, $3,000 in commissions gets you 3 seats in the mine. That's what you get. However, you have the option to lock your hash, which is what I technically did because I did it mentally with Texacoin because I didn't want anything but free seats in the mine. You can lock your hash for 3 months and say, hey, I'm going to lock my commissions and hash for 3 months. Guess what you get, guys? BOGO. BOGO. And it's paid out right away in BOGO. You get twice as much. If you lock it for 6 months, you get, these words are crazy and I didn't create them, but Bobby loves them, and it's called Trogo, which is 3x. So you can get 3x your commissions in hashing power if you simply lock it for 6 months. And finally, if you lock for a year, you can get 4x, which I don't even want to say it, but it's Quogo, just that quad. Anyhow, having said that, you can 4x your hash power, guys, in Iskander. That's like unheard of. You can also coin lock. So you can say, hey guys, I'm going to lock up my coins. I'm not going to sell them on the open market. I'm going to lock them in my wallet. And you can basically lock them for 3 months, 6 months, or 9 months, 6 months, or 1 year. And that's right in here. And it talks about what that coin lock is. And if memory serves, and Sarah or Thomas or anybody else could correct me, but I believe if you lock your coins for 3 months, you get a 10% bonus on your coins. If you lock it for 6 months, guys, you get a 25% bonus on your coins. And if you lock it for 1 year, you get a 50% bonus on your coins. So, guys, these kinds of things have been built into the Iskander project that could never have been built into TextCoin. So going back through here, you've got stretch payment FAQs. Then you've got how is Texacoin and Iskander, how do they work together? You know, does Texacoin and Iskander share an infrastructure? Why does this matter? And all of these cover, you know, all of these answers in here. As Sarah said too, there are a lot of stuff that wouldn't end up in a normal FAQ, but we wanted to be as fully transparent with everything. Global mining and cross mining strategy. You know, that's a whole FAQ section. Ecosystem, vision, and the growth timeline. You know, what is phase 3? Why is Iskander central to the growth of that? And then you can go into common misconceptions and clear answers. And so I think that most everything that you will think of or your downline will think of has been put in here, and it's an amazing resource for yourself and for your team. So I will, again, open it back up. Anybody raise your hand if you have questions. So on the Tuesday call, no, Bobby did not cut off the dollar. What happened, guys, was you can use the dollar valuation for TXC starting February 12th. But what happened is the original founder group that got in at February 2nd or earlier, that group has the option to buy back the TXC that they used to purchase their seat if they did for the same dollar. So they get a big win. If it goes up, and when it goes up to $3, they can buy it back for $1. That went away after the initial founder group. But so people who use TXC, they get the $1 valuation on the way in for purchasing power, but they cannot purchase their TXC back for $1. So I hope that clears that up. Other questions? We got 64 of you on here. I know someone needs to ask a question. We're here for you.
I thought the coin lock and hash lock both rewarded in hash power. Now the reward is in coins. No, that is a good,
No.
Lonnie.
No, it is in hash power. So, so your coin reward, because guys, there aren't enough coins mined yet to provide a coin reward. So if you coin lock, okay, let's say you got, you know, 2,000 coins and you lock those, then at the market rate, at the time of your lock being up, you will get that in the value of hash power. So that's a great distinction. Thank you for that clarification. Can we pay 1/2 in coins? Yes, you can. So guys, you can pay. So on the enrollment site, you choose a payment method. We have right here, well, you don't see it here, but we have payment in the FAQs. We have payment in BTC, payment in ETH, payment in USDT, USDC, payment in TXC, and payment in AACH. So you can, just like you used to do on the TXClimited.com site, the project itself, unlike minetxc.com, where you go to enroll in Texacoin, this will be the official enrollment site initially until the project itself has its own minetxc type of back office where you'll be able to enroll. The good news there is you can pay with ACH here, and you are required to upload a copy of your check during the enrollment process. And the reason for that, guys, is we had so many chargebacks because of what we call fat finger syndrome, where people just got their account number one number off, or the routing number one number off. Now you upload the check picture and then they can process your ACH. So a lot of variety. There is no holdbacks on jumping in. If you need to pay partially with ACH, then partially with TXC, you can do that, okay? Now, there's not a mechanism in the enrollment to do that. You have to pick a payment method. But if you, let's say you could pay $7,500 of 9,000 with your TXC, you go pay your TXC, you put your hash ID in there, your transaction hash ID, and then send an email to Gage Blake, gage@blockchainmint.com, and say, Gage, I need to pay the other in whatever the other is. They'll send you an address for that. They will manually upload your transaction hash, or your ACH will be validated, and you can pay with multiple currencies. It's just a manual process at this point. I hope that that answers that question. Let's go back up here. There are two compensation plans. One compensation plan for Texacoin. And by the way, the Texacoin FAQs are being updated. It'll probably be a few days from now to reflect additional compensation plan changes in Texacoin. We ran a little behind on that. We've been inundated, so that is going to happen. Sorry about that. Let me see. There are two compensation plans. Yes. Bobby said on the meeting that we would have the option to use gift card, and that would be additional options. Did I miss that? That may be true, but it has not been rolled out to us at this point. So we don't know what the details of that are. If Bobby wants to add a gift card option to the payment structure, or to the early adopter packages, we can certainly do that, but we haven't been tasked with that at this point with any of the details.
Jim, can I throw something in there about the gift cards? Because if people have gift cards left from Texacoin, they are able to, and my understanding is that they have to contact Gage on that.
Perfect. So that's exactly what you should do, guys. Gage and Thomas, maybe you could put that in the chat. Gage@blockchainmint.com for everybody, and you can contact him directly. Do we need to enroll someone every 30 days with Texit and then another new person with Iskander? That's every 30 days. It's really simple. It just depends on what your strategy is. The answer is, if you're participating in the rapid rewards of Texit Coin, the answer is yes. You have to enroll somebody every 30 days in order to stay active in the rapid rewards program. 1-2 free, not so much. Every time you get a 1-2 free, anytime in Texit Coin, you get 1 free seat. If you've done it within the last 30 days, you still get 2 free seats. That is not tied to personal. Obviously, those are personal enrollments, which you earn free seats for. But in Iskander, the answer is yes. You will have to enroll 1 new person every 30 days in order to stay active in the compensation plan. That's in FAQs as well. How soon after the McKinney Downtown Digital Dollars will we be able to have that at our disposal for every for our county or state fairs. So they have a DDD team. I think Bobby's referring that to as the D3 team at this point. And the D3 team, I'm sure if you, again, I would probably send an email. I'm sorry. Yeah, I would send an email. I would send an email to Rob Reynolds. So that's Rob at blockchainmint.com. So, you know, Rob at blockchainmint.com. That's Rob Reynolds. And so, you know, if you have questions about that, you guys can ask Rob. But when you're saying how soon after the DDD will we be able to have that, hang on, have that at our disposal for the county or state fairs? Well, I mean, they've signed up the music festival in McKinney already. So at that fair or festival, you'll be able to take advantage of the downtown digital dollar and use it to spend at that fair or festival. So I'm imagining that as they come online, then those downtown digital dollars will become available for you to purchase and to use if you're going to that event or to spend with local merchants in town. Let's see, Jessica, again, you said that the coin lock hash was based on market price when you lock the price. No, it's based on the market rate at the time your lock is over, if that makes sense, Jessica. Oh, they don't even know right now, guys, the price of the Iskander coin when it's going to go live with the first price because it's mathematical. Right now, people are joining, people are buying seats, blocks are being mined. Unlike the 284 block size for Texacoin, strategically and in accordance with branding, the block size is 312 for Iskander, which kind of follows that Alexander the Great 312 date. You'll see that also if you go to the Iskander.com website, right here where I'm at, on the bottom right, you can see grayed out in the bottom right, 312. So it's symbolic. And so that's what's happening as far as that goes. But again, they don't even know what the price is going to be at this point until it'll be a little bit further down the road where they'll announce, hey, the opening price of the coin is X, but it will be the price of the coin at the time your lock is up. If you have a new prospect, which one do you promote? Does one mine have priority over the other? This is why we're having this meeting today, Ginger. Exactly why. Because it really comes down to you. It comes down to what does your strategy going to be for your growth going forward. So for me personally, doesn't mean everybody has to do this. When I do my dinner events, when I do my webinars, I'm coming up with a brand new PowerPoint presentation that takes into consideration education and teaching people about the global cross mining and what's happening right now and how they benefit both projects. I'll go through the benefits of all the utility like I do now, because it's the same utility that we already have and we are going to enjoy in Texacoin and also in Iscander. But for me, as Thomas Dubois said, I'm a marketer. You know, that's what I do. I've never been a network marketer, but I've done pretty well. And I'm into making money. And so for me and my team, I would say, if that's your goal, if you just want to be a miner, come into Texacoin or come into Iscander and don't do anything else. Just be a miner and come back in 5 years and watch the vision come to life and then see where you're at. That's all you ever have to do. But if you're a person who wants to grow, you want to get more mining seats and you want to do that and you want to make money, then for my money, this Iscander marketing plan is absolutely built for that. With a stretch program, with the coin locks, with the hash locks. I mean, it's built for that, unlike the others. So for me, I'm going to be promoting that marketing plan. But again, I'm going to sign anybody up into anything they want, what's best for them. So you just have to kind of make your decision on it yourself. Thomas, what do you say on that? I'm interested to just get your thoughts on that kind of a question.
You bet. Well, you know, I believe eventually it's going to become regional. I truly am doing a little bit more focus right now on TexitCoin for the simple fact that any new people, they got to come into TexitCoin first, and let them know that they have the ability to go international, and then come closer to April 29th. I think that we just do that regional. Like, I have some things being directed at Dubai to see if I can find some leads that way, and I have a team in Asia. So, doing some things that way. And it is, like you say, it's a total matter of preference. The other easy answer is, split it. I have people telling me all the time, should I buy more hash or should I buy Texit Coin? While the price is down. Well, that's a hard one to decide too. So sometimes I say split it. And so in this circumstance here too, if somebody's coming in, I might talk to them up. If they're coming in for 1,000, I might talk them into 2,000 to coming in with 1,000 in each, depending on their level, and if they're a builder or not. Because it's always good to diversify, and we have the opportunity now to diversify in 2 of our mines. Well, we're going to soon have the opportunity to diversify in 3, 4, and 5, and maybe 6, from what Bobby said the other night, which I had heard for the first time, that he talked about 6 being in South Africa. So I believe is what he said. So anyways, that's kind of it for me. I mean, it really is an individual basis, but I don't think there's a preference of one to the other. Of course, until April 29th, there's a definite preference, because a new person cannot get into Iskander without joining TexaCoin. So let's push on TexaCoin a little bit more.
And for me, guys, to dovetail on that, up right now, what I'm doing is working my existing TexaCoin downline as hard as I possibly can to give them the benefit of the opportunity to preserve their genealogy and to join the Iskander project early days. So between now and April 29th, I mean, am I entertaining new people? Sure. And new people that have come in? Sure. But I'm absolutely making it a focus to work with my existing team that is already there. I want to have a question here and just say it to everybody, because I answered it in the chat, but I think everybody can benefit. Has Texit thought about doing forced matrix to force inside growth as well? I think that's a great plan. So I think it's a great plan too, 100%. But the answer is no, they're not going to do anything in Texacoin to basically force that, because frankly, as I said before, Texacoin is wanting to move further and further away from what looks, walks, and talks like an MLM. And so that's why Iskander was created completely different. So the answer is no, they won't be doing that. Having said that, guys, if you have a 9-pack in Texacoin and it's like this, or it's like this, or even if it's like this, the bottom line is, guys, I still highly recommend, as Brick stated, and I'm doing, is to merge your inside legs. So what I'm doing is, if you could picture mine, I've got top, middle, bottom. I've got inside legs built off of my bottom and my top. I'm sorry, my middle and my bottom. I don't have anything off my top at this point that I built out, okay? So the bottom line is, because I built everything off the bottom to start with. So I'm going to take my inside leg of my bottom, inside leg of my middle. Those are going to compress up to the outside of my top spot. Now I only have 2 spots. I have 1 tracking position. I don't have to sponsor 3 people, every 90 days with 3 tracking centers. I just got to sponsor 1 person every 30 days for 1 spot. And then all of these people now that were on the inside are now on the outside, and they're getting the benefit of the growth. And then I can choose to build from that point. 1 on my overflow leg, 2 on my pay leg. 1, 2, 1, 2. And it sets you up for that success if you want to grow your Texacoin line. So Thomas, if I've missed anything on that, or Sarah or anybody, you can chime in, but that's kind of what I'm doing. Anyway, somebody else asked if you could stretch, you could pay it off anytime. The answer is you could pay it off anytime. That's correct. So what happens if the vast majority of people coin lock? That's a great question, Jessica. I didn't think that through. what happens if the vast majority of people coin lock Iskander? I mean, the coins are being accumulated. This would leave little to no coins on the market. I mean, the coins aren't on the market anyway, guys, even if you don't coin lock it. They're in your wallet. The only way coins get on the market is if you sell them. So they're not on the market until they sold. So I don't know that that really impacts anything. Hope that answers that question. If we decide on a pack,
Jim, can I jump in here for a sec?
please do.
So my understanding is that's why he decided to do the hash instead of the coins when we do the coin lock. You're
probably right about that. That's a very great observation. Good observation. Thank you for that.
Sure.
Jamie, if we decide on a package, can we still buy upgrades? Yes, that's the cool thing, guys. You can say, hey, I'm coming in with 1 seat. I'm going to stretch to 3. And then as soon as your stretch to 3 is paid off, let's say you made some great commissions and you just go, hey, I'm chunking this off. You can now turn your 3 into a stretch for 9. And when you do the 9 and you pay that off, you can take the 9 and you can stretch it. Well, you can't stretch it into a 27 unless it's prior to the founder seats being sold, because the founder seats will not be available after 429 or when 3,073 founder positions are sold. So the answer is yes, you can upgrade every time you do that. Supply lock to demand ratio. Price of coin likely will soar from less available to be sold. Thank you, Lonnie. That is an astute observation coming from a gentleman who, with, I believe you and your son are rocking the world, teaching people on how we can start to trade these coins. And I think it's going to be invaluable to have you doing this kind of stuff. You're doing great work, my friend. Jamie, if we decide on a package, can we still upgrade in the future? Yes, we can. How do we consolidate our control centers? Do we have contact at corporate? Yes. You want to send an email to, well, first of all, do it through support. So go through the green button on the bottom right side after you log into your back office, click support. Do not pick a team that will direct your support to the management team, the entire management team, not a specific team. You need to have corporate team support on that. And you want to write them an email that says, hey, consolidation, I would like to take my 3 positions. My ID for the first one is this, the top. My ID for the middle one is this. My ID for the bottom one is this. And I want to consolidate my inside legs of my 3, or my middle and my bottom, up to the outside of my top. So whether you come down this way and you're consolidating up to the right because you're built down that way, or you're down this way and you're consolidating up to the left, let them know what you want to do, and they will then work with you to make that happen. Thank you, Thomas. You're exactly right. But if they're locked, you can't sell them. I don't understand the question. Locked, you can't sell them. I don't know what sell them means. Thomas or Jessica, you can give us more detail there if you want.
If the coins are locked, they can't be sold. That's right, because they're locked up. Yeah.
There you go. Perfect. See you, Kenneth. Thanks, buddy. Florida, look forward to seeing you Monday night. Jessica, what happens if the vast majority of people coin lock Iskander with this leave? Okay, I think we answered that one already. I don't agree on a new coin such as this on something more established. I would agree. I guess we'll see. I guess we will. Cool. Any more questions, guys? You can either unmute or type them in the chat and we'll read them off. I'm doing another one of these tomorrow at 3, and then I will be doing them every single night this week. I'll have them every single day, all the way up to next Thursday. They're all recorded. If anybody wants a recording, txcventures@gmail.com. My email address is in the chat. Simply email me and say, I'd like to have the recording of this. We've been on for an hour and 24 minutes. I'm happy to do that. And send that out to everybody. But pretty much, guys, it's going to be the same content. It may start to get more into a presentation. I may have slides start to be developed that will kind of guide me through this a little bit. But in the meantime, I really love the fireside chat type of stuff. All right. Well, guys, it was great spending the day with you. Thomas, thank you so much. Sarah, thank you for your spirit and for your contributions, and everybody as well. I want everyone to know the Texacoin's the mothership. It started everything. It's going to drive everything. It's better than it was. And this project is just getting nothing but better. So if anybody ever needs to reach out to me personally, you can hit me up in Telegram at vacation. That basically is my handle at VAC8ION. It's a funky way to spell vacation. And I'm always here for everybody. I'm a part of this community, and it's just, it's one of the highlights of my day to be able to do stuff like this. So have a blessed Saturday, everybody. We will see you tomorrow if you come. And if not, we'll see you whenever we can. Take care.
Thanks, Jim. Awesome job.
You got it. All right, guys. Have a blessed day.